Hello everybody, welcome back to another managed training session. Today we're going to be running through how to change a tenant's payment frequency in the system. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a content heavy one. I'm going to go through some different variations as well in terms of maybe why a tenant might be changing their payment frequency. I might also be running through if a tenant wants to push back the day that they pay their rent and how to make that adjustment and how that will all work in the system. So for example, for the purpose of this experiment or video, I am going to show you with my tenant here changing her payment frequencies. Now, you do have to terminate a tenancy in order to recreate a new tenancy under a new payment frequency. That unfortunately is the only option that we have at the moment, is making that termination to change the way they pay their rent. If a tenant wants to make their payments every fortnight, another thing that you can just let them know is the benefits of their tenancy wallet and the fact that that is like a funded account. So if they wanted to change their payment frequency or make payments fortnightly, they can just pay a fortnightly price to their wallet, and then the system will allocate that fortnightly price per week. So if you don't want to make that change in the system, just let them know that they need to fund their wallet with that fortnightly figure. But if you need to make the change in the system because they're either pushing their due date back or making any changes in that way, or going from weekly to monthly, which is a bit more of a bigger change, I'm going to run through how to do that. So for the purpose of this one, taking Chloe for example, my rent is paid up until the 15th of May. I need to change my rent payment to monthly because my work has changed, and instead of getting paid weekly now, I get paid monthly with my job. Now, my job is going to be paying me on the 27th of each month now, and I want to make sure that I still have enough time for that to clear into my bank account and pay my property manager. So my property manager and my owner have agreed that I can now change my rent and pay my rent on the 29th of each month. So what I'm going to do to begin with is I'm going to add in a termination date in this system. So because my rent is now going to be due on the 29th of every month, I need to wrap up and make my final payments of rent as of a weekly figure up until the 28th. So I'm going to go to the lease tab as a property manager, add in a termination date, and I'm going to put that in as of the 28th of May. And then the reason for this is we're just going to pop in a mutual termination. I'm not going to click this one. I'm just going to click save. What the system is going to do is it's going to calculate the rent that I need to pay up until the 28th of May in order for my monthly adjustment to take effect as of the 29th. So the system's going to schedule in that I need to pay $600 plus $514.29 up until the 28th of May. And then as of the 29th of May, we're going to schedule in the system the monthly payments. So how we're going to do that is going to be as followed. We're going to go to the lease tab and we're going to select upcoming, and we're going to just open up my lease in another tab, so just so it's easier to interchange. So I'm going to go to the upcoming and I'm going to start to add in my details. So I'm still going to have the same lease start date as what I had originally, which was the 28th of June 2024. And then 25th of July 2025. Just going to put this July 2025. Yes, they lived in the property since the 17th of April. No, it's not on a month to month. So I'm going to now change my payment of rental frequency from weekly to monthly, but I just want to confirm the price of the monthly amount. So it is $600 a week. I'm going to put in $600 a week, and that is actually $2,607.14 a month. So once I've done that, I'm going to change it to monthly, and it's going to update that. Is GST included? Yes or no? No. Do tenants pay water? Yes. Again, copying any data that I have from the previous lease. Entering in my bond ID. I didn't have a bond ID for this one, so I'm going to leave that blank. Now, my start of payment is going to be the 29th. So the 29th of May for that monthly frequency. Am I collecting a deposit? No, I already live in the property. Am I going to set up some routine activities? Yes, let's just copy the information that I have in the system. So the 5th of September. And that's every 6 months. Do I want to set up a rent review? I'm going to tick no. Upload the lease agreements. You can bring those previous documents across. Tick next. And then I'm going to add my tenant in. So all I need to do is select my email. Pop that email in there. It's going to bring up my information already. Confirm my next amount. So that rental summary. Yep. Click confirm. No deposit. Click done. So that is going to be active until the previous one is completed. So for example, for the purpose of this one, say Chloe, me, I have made all of my payments in advance. So I have made the payments I need to up until the point of where my payments are going to change to monthly. So I'm going to prioritize all of my payments, wrap everything up. So Chloe has made all of her payments now up until the 28th of May, even though it's only the 9th of May. But in order for me to just get myself prepared for the monthly payments, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the lease tab. Now, because she has made all of her payments up until the 20th of May, I'm just going to complete this termination. There's no more money that she owes up until the day she vacates, so I'm just going to complete that termination. And then I'm going to activate the new one. So activating the new one is just I've changed her payment frequency in the system to now be monthly. And I'm going to activate that because she's tied off every loose end. She's paid up until the 28th. She's now going to be set up in the system for monthly payments as of the 29th. So I'm just going to go in and click activate. I don't need to charge any bills here because she's an already existing tenant. And then I'm going to click continue. I'm going to select that activate button. And now I can see, based on her payment series and in her transactions and her ledgers, that her rent is paid up until the 28th of May. And then her rent is now due on the 29th of May in a monthly figure. Something that I would probably pair with this as well, just as a previous property manager and just something handy, is I would just create a task in the system, adding a little general task, assigning the owner, if you wanted to, a tenant, and just making a little note and communicating to the tenants and the owners what's been done, just so you have that on file. It's great to have that on file as well for any other property managers or people in your team. So here, just in regards to wrap this up, confirm that adjustment with the owner and the tenant, I have just made a little general task, assigning both the owner and the tenant, letting them know that that adjustment has been agreed upon and made in the system. And that way everyone knows that they can go onto that transactions tab now. They can review that those payments have been adjusted accordingly. And yeah, everything is all streamlined in the same payment frequency. There's nothing being missed. The changes are all just done correctly. So once I've made that little note, and that's something that I personally would have done, is just make that note to the owner and the tenant, and that's now in the system if anyone wants to go in and ask, and I'm just going to complete that task. And now everything has been wrapped up and changed for that tenant.